craziest thing that Bob has ever done at the lake?
Probably sink the boat. It was a really sort of cloudy, overcast day. It was the middle of summer. And the lake was very, very rough, okay? But there were a lot of grandchildren at our house.
So Brady's friend Tage was at the lake, and Brady really wanted to take Tage tubing, but Brady had already asked Papa too many times, so he convinced Benny and Arthur to also go along with him to convince Papa to take them tubing. And they said that Tage wouldn't be there the next day, that they really wanted to take him, and that it was kind of a tradition, and they eventually used their charismatic ways and got him to get out on the boat, despite Grandma's wanting them not to.
Most of the teenagers, they like to go water skiing. And so they start saying, we got to go water skiing. But I look out and I see that the waves are too big for water skiing, too choppy. But the wind and the waves are coming from the south. So if we can go north and then cut back into a concealed bay, the waves won't be bad there because there'll be a peninsula. You've got to go around the peninsula and get into the calm waters. We decided, well, we'll have to take these kids around and get them some Saturday afternoon skiing. So we had a 20-foot boat, and I've been running a boat. I felt comfortable in it after having a boat for 20 years on the lake. And everybody was happy, except my wife said, don't you go out there. Don't you go there, no, no, no. But we decided to go, be cautious.
I would say that yes, Papa definitely has a history of going out when the water's rough. But before, we would look for waves to spot tubing weather, and you know, the more waves, the better the tubing was going to be.
We went north with the waves following the boat, and we got around the peninsula and into the calm water and had, I don't know, at least 4 skiers.
Oh, we got, I think the max people we got up was 5 people at once. I don't think the boat has any more power for that anymore. We've got no hands trick, where the rope goes between your knees and then you let go with both your hands. Getting up on one ski, also dropping a ski. Me and my cousin Declan managed to both get up on one ski this summer, which also took a lot of power from the boat. Yeah, got a lot of water ski stunts. We did get over to Skidoo Bay and had some of probably the best tube rides ever. And we did double tubes.
What are your favorite things to do on the water at the lake?
Tubing. Reckless tubing. With Papa driving, you know, however fast that old boat can go.
Tube rides are good for everybody. They really like the tube rides. So I like taking them, although you have to be careful not to toss them out of the tube. But you have to at least almost toss them out for them to enjoy it.
So a cookie is when the boat does a circle, which causes the tube to come out of the wake entirely and hit the waves that the boat's wake had made previously in the circle, and then you fly because you're hitting huge waves.
And then it was time to go back. Well, the waves had gotten bigger, and now we were going into the waves, into the wind. And the waves were high, and the bow of the boat would pop up on each wave, get some spray.
And then on our way back, we were all kneeling in the front of the boat, the 7 kids that were in the front and the 2 adults in the back. And the tubes were kind of in the middle of the walkway. And the 7 kids were all like kneeling in the front and letting the waves just smack us in the face and just having the time of our lives, just laughing and joking. And then Brady goes and he looks and goes, the water's at my knees. And I look, and the water is definitely up to our knees inside of the boat. And we start panicking because Bappa and Carol Ann hadn't seen the water at that point because they were behind and the tubes were kind of blocking their view to the front of the boat. So we said, like, the water is coming in, it's flooding. And they're like, you guys gotta get in the back. So we all had to like hoist each other over the tubes that were in the walkway and just kind of fly in the back.
And we all just blew past Tage, Brady's friend, and he was just in the front alone after we clobbered up. It was just every man for himself at one point.
And then all the water started coming back there too, and the seats kind of started coming up out of the boat, and everything was kind of just floating. And Bappa slowed down.
We were making it, we were almost home.
We thought we were gonna make it. We were pretty close. We were probably about like 2 or 3 city blocks away, but then we did have to beach it. Someone managed to have an unwaterlogged phone. I think it was probably Tess, and called Grandma and told her to bring buckets, and then we sunk the boat. And she had no idea where we were, so we said to head north, and some of us would be on the road, main road, waiting for her.
I get a phone call saying, Grandma, we're beached just up the road, and could you come and get us? We'll meet you on the road. The boat got swamped.
And so we all started going up there, barefoot. It was supposed to be just me and Tess to go up there.
The ones that I would be least likely to be mad at. It definitely was not Grandpa or Carol Ann.
But Arthur and Benny did follow. We walked up there and we got Grandma and we said, where's the buckets? And she hands us these Parmesan cheese cups. We're like, those aren't buckets, Grandma. We need buckets. She didn't realize how bad it was. But as we were driving down, we pick up Benny and Arthur, who are waddling up the road barefoot, and Arthur's got his swim pants sagging a little bit, and Grandma goes, Arthur, pull up your pants, and then doesn't let them in the car because of Arthur's swim shorts that were hanging a little low. So they had to walk all the way back down the hill.
But we went down the hill, and we went to this cabin that was on the water, and there was the boat, just covered with water, and all Grandpa was there. I didn't really talk to him because I didn't want to say, I told you so.
We get down and we take the Parmesan cheese buckets and we start trying to bail water out some more, and they're completely ineffective. I mean, even if we had a big paint bucket, nothing would come out of that boat. And so eventually we gave up and put the tubes on top of the Honda Pilot that we had. And all of us sat on the windows with the windows down with no seatbelts on, holding the tubes onto the top of the car. On the way home, it was windy and stormy still. And then we all hung out in the hot tub for a while. We took the boat to Bill Borcher's shop in Polson, and it took about a year, which was more than he estimated. But, Bill Borcher's a busy guy in Polson. There's a lot of boats needing stuff done. But he did eventually get the most of it fixed. The radio doesn't work and the speedometer doesn't work. And we're unsure if the depth checker works or not. But it might. But the boat is running again. And well.
It still runs. I don't know if it's recovered from the sinking.
It's embarrassing for somebody who's been doing it 45 years, I tell you. And I had one person say, I told you so.
I think the only difference between how the boat ran and how it runs today is the way it's driven. We take a lot more precaution.
Well, yeah, I don't think I'll go out when the waves are that high, especially when you're not sure they're not going to get even higher when you come back. But the pressure on me from grandchildren is hard to resist. So I'll probably go out when it's not ideal again.
This is what I mean. Grandpa would do anything to entertain the grandchildren, including sinking the boat.
I think that as a kid growing up, especially in Montana, I had a lot more fun in bad experiences. They're great stories and you learn more from them. And if everything goes perfect in your life, you're never going to know what to do if something goes wrong.